Hi, I have a question for you. Who is your favorite superhero? What do they do? Can they fly? Shoot lasers from their eyes? Can they read minds? My favorite superhero is actually a mild-mannered scientist. But when the time comes and the evil arrives, he transforms into this big, mean, green rage monster with superhuman strength and impenetrable skin. He manages to defeat the bad guy, but may also take out a whole city block in the process. I would find this power very convenient to handle the minor annoyances that happen in life. But on a serious note, what if I told you that we all had a monster inside of us? Except instead of doing damage externally, it does damage internally. It knocks over the towers of your hopes and dreams. It tramples the populace of your identity, and it cracks the road of your destiny. It will leave the city of your future in ruins if we do not defeat it. Let me introduce myself. My name is David Haywood. I am a father, husband, and a believer that everyone should live an unimpeded life. Let me tell you the story of my struggle with my monster. And let's go back to my freshman year in college. Among my main joys at the time was eating. My favorite food, pizza, specifically pepperoni pizza. And I remember it like it was yesterday. After my classes were done for the day, I would go to one of the eateries on campus, and the second I step in the door, I get this all too familiar feeling. This feeling of despair. My heart is pounding out of my chest, my body tenses, and my vocal cords tighten. I am about to stutter. I have two options. I can either force my way through the stutter, or I can opt for something easier to say. More often than not, I opt for the easier thing, cheese pizza. And cheese pizza is okay. I get my piece of craving satisfied, but it's not what I wanted. Similarly, I would go to the submarine sandwich shop on campus, and by the time my sub is done being made, it hardly resembles what I had envisioned in my mind. But I just took what was given to me. Little did I know that doing what was easy and taking whatever was given to me would be a theme that would follow me throughout my adult years. And I can tell you from this experience that that kind of life, in fact, is not your own. It is controlled by other people and your circumstance. You will accept mistreatment from people that you do not deserve. You will accept the first thing that comes along because you feel that you will never get anything better. You will stay in an unfulfilling and toxic job or relationship. And while you may not resign from that thing, you will resign yourself to a life of drudgery and just making it to payday. And perhaps the worst part of all, when the time comes and you feel the need to stand up and say something, you won't. I may have never met you, and I may never will meet you. But I do believe that you are deserving of a life that you define on your own terms. So a couple of years ago, while sitting around idle, I decided it was a good idea to take selfies. I snap a selfie and I look at it. So I was supposed to be smiling in the selfie and look happy, but I could not muster a smile, and my eyes just can't lie. I was depressed. So in an attempt to save my smile and by extension my life, I sought out therapy. And through therapy, I learned to forgive myself for the things I did in the past to survive. That was my first step. Maybe a small step, but the first step is always the most important step. And that was the first step in a cascading line of events that have led to exponential growth for me in the recent years. In addition to therapy, I also started reading self-help literature and listening to motivational speeches. I've started to watch what I eat. And that's not just food. That's also what I consume online and on social media, the people I'm around, the environments I put myself in, and my thoughts and habits that reinforce my behavior. Oh, and I also attended speech therapy for the first time just last year, which gave me the skills and confidence to speak before you today. But I've come to a revelation. My stutter is not the monster like I thought it was. No, my monster was my lack of self-worth. My monster was the feeling like I didn't deserve good things. My monster was pride. Pride is the big one. And the truth is, we all have this monster inside of us. For you, it may be your ego, greed, shame, guilt, low self-esteem, procrastination. Ultimately, it is your responsibility and yours alone to identify this monster and defeat it. So let's go back to those superheroes. Yeah, those powers are cool and nice and whatnot, but that's not why we like superheroes. We connect with superheroes because they are vulnerable. They have weaknesses, just like you and I. Yet they manage to overcome those weaknesses and save the day time and time again. And I'm here to tell you that you can do the same thing. So one of my superheroes in real life is, perhaps ironically, my oldest son. You see, like me, he stutters. And I've felt a lot of guilt and shame about handing that down to him. But one day, a few years ago, I asked him how he felt about it. And to my surprise, he said, "Daddy, I like it. It makes me unique." And that blew my mind. And he's right. In fact, only 1% of the world's population stutters. So that makes him and I unique, but we are also two different unique individuals in our own right. Just as you are a unique individual and a unique superhero. And just like the heroes we might read about in the comics, watch on TV, or on a movie, there are other people watching you, wanting to be like you. And how you defeat that monster will be their blueprint for how they go about being their own hero. So by all means, be the best superhero you can be.